In today's weekly recap, we're going to look at some restrictions that Fanatics is putting on distributors, some upcoming sets, game-worn baseball cards, and more. But first, here's the intro. One of the big elephants in the room that I got a couple comments about last week is that we did not do a giveaway. We didn't do a giveaway this week either. Fun fact is, I've just given away like $1,000 of product that I had sitting on my shelf, and I gotta get some more. For sure, I need to go to Walmart and loot some cards. I just don't have any sealed product that I'm trying to give away, at least. So, more on that soon. Next week I'll have a box for you guys, I promise. Shout out to Steven, who sent me an email and said that he only watches these videos for the giveaway every week, so he was going to stop watching. He might not even have watched this one. Love you too, Steven. Anyways, the biggest news of the week. So this is an exclusive story, and it came from a friend of CardLines who has a Topps Direct account. He reached out and said that he has seen some impacts and some restrictions that Fanatics is now posing on him and presumably others. Basically, he was told he cannot purchase through a retail distributor because he has this Topps Direct wholesale account. So basically what that boils down to is Fanatics limiting people who have a Topps Direct account from buying Topps product anywhere else. And like it says here, this development not only poses a significant threat to the hobby, but also potentially puts distributors in a precarious position. If they're selling cards, they're forced to choose between partnering with retail distributors or Topps. The latter is obviously what Fanatics would like, to keep it all in-house and to maintain complete control over the distribution process. But if they're working with other retail distributors, it's obviously access to other brands, so you're in a really weird, precarious position, as it was worded. With these moves, it's pretty obvious that Fanatics is trying to control the supply chain as much as possible, and it makes sense. They're an e-com site that is specialized in, they've done their own branding stuff, so they're like D2C, direct to consumer, in a lot of ways, and you make more money when you do that, so why wouldn't they? They have the infrastructure in place to go D2C, so they're hosing the hobby shops, but at the end of the day, it's more about Fanatics' balance sheet. If they can do it, it would only make sense that they would do it. So we'll see where this goes. Something cool that happened this week is PSA revealed some game-worn cards, and it's a really confusing concept, or at least on the surface. When you hear game-worn cards, it doesn't make sense. But what happened is they worked with Corbin Carroll and Bobby Witt Jr., who are both pretty known collectors, flew out to them before they played games, and then both Bobby and Corbin put 6 or 7 cards in their back pocket and played a game. So it's clipping, it's an inverse on this idea of having these gem mint cards with perfect sharp corners, and instead it's like embracing the ruggedness of baseball because the game is meant to be played. So all these cards are graded by PSA now, and they were all inscribed by Bobby or Corbin after the game. While they kept most of the cards for their own PCs or to gift friends, PSA kept one of each, and they're going to be used as a giveaway. So there's this video about it that we encourage you to watch. It's embedded in the CardLines article. And we broke down what this could mean and what the future could potentially look like, because I doubt this is a one-off occurrence. Wouldn't be surprising to see PSA start doing this with more athletes to embrace this game-usedness of these cards. Optic Basketball is coming out on May 24th, and we wrote a preview here. It's $540 as a release day price, and that's pretty expensive, but the thing that's to like about Optic is that it is not an autograph-driven set. The value in Optic is often found in the parallels of the rated rookies. So with Wembanyama not having autographs in the set, it's going to be a great product for pulling Wembanyama rookies. I'd much rather have something like Optic than Noir, which is, 3-4 autographs per box, when none of those autographs can be Wemby. Optic only has 1 auto per box, but that's not necessarily what you're buying it for. $540, still a very expensive price. We compared the resale value from previous years down here somewhere. Let me find it. So $540 is still a lot more than most of these hobby boxes are selling for, save 2018-19, which has Luka, SGA, Jaren Jackson Jr., Trae Young, and a lot of other top players. But $500, if this price goes down and it's, the $450 to maybe even $500 mark, with Wembanyama cards, these are going to be some of Wembanyama's top cards. If you wanted to rip a box or join and break, we encourage you to do that too, but I don't think this is a terrible product. I do think if you're buying it at a release price and setting it on your shelf to hold, you'll probably lose money, at least over the next few years. At some point, it could be worth more than that if Wembanyama becomes like all-time great. Either way, it's a interesting product. One other thing to bear in mind, though, is that, remember we wrote about Topps Chrome making a return this summer? It's going to be releasing close to alongside Optic, and those two were positioned to compete against each other most directly. So while Topps Chrome is not going to have a license, it is going to have autographs of Wembanyama, LeBron James, KD, Steph, and a lot of other top talent. So there's going to be some excitement around this Topps Chrome release that probably is pulling people away from Optic. That could cause the Optic price to drop even more, and if that's the case, buy some. I don't think it's a bad buy. Speaking of products I would choose Optic over, we reviewed Obsidian Basketball. It's a very, like I said, it's Darth Vader's favorite product. It has this like theme, it's like, oh, we gave creative control to the Sith Lords. It's kind of the vibe that Optic has. It comes out supposedly May 22nd. It's a nice set, but again, there's no Wembanyama autographs, and you buy Obsidian hoping for a nice autograph pool, so there's 2 autographs per box, and without Wemby, it's just not as unattractive of a release. Paul Skeens made his call-up debut this week. It's got some mixed feedback. He throws the ball really, really fast. People are worried he's going to get injured or fan out or whatever, but if you're interested in buying his cards, we counted down some of his top cards. So his 23 Bowman draft is his first Bowman card. So you have his Bowman paper, and there's a variation where he's facing to the right, and the chrome version, and then the autograph version. So if you're looking for his first Bowman cards, that's where to grab him. He's also in the 2024 Bowman that just released. I think there's some pairings of him and his teammate Dylan Cruz. Then there's also some autographs and other cards of him from his past. There's one that's really cool where he's in, I don't remember what brand it is. Oh, it's right here. It's him as a catcher. So it's this old Leaf card, but I just think this is kind of fun. A little bit unusual, but if you're into oddities, having him playing his catcher position from high school is kind of a fun twist. And then finally, Panini is losing the Premier League license to Fanatics. Ironically, we covered this kind of beat 6 months ago or so, and I said I was happy for Panini because at least they were keeping some kind of license. And I don't like Panini, but at some point you start to feel bad because they're just getting straight bullied. But they're losing the soccer license too, so the English Premier League and Fanatics haven't announced a deal together. So if you're into English Premier League cards, I'll be honest, I don't understand the different leagues in soccer, but if you like these cards, then they're going to be coming with Fanatics now in the next couple of years. Again, no giveaways today, sorry about that, but we will be doing some next week. See you next time, be sure to like and subscribe, I'm out.